So, Ken, according to this article at Yahoo Finance, the Federal Reserve Bank of New York reported Thursday that the COVID-19 pandemic had led to paydowns of household debt in the second quarter of 2020, leading to the first quarter-over-quarter decline since 2014. The New York Fed's Consumer Debt Panel, or Consumer Credit Panel, which uses national data from Equifax, shows that total household debt fell by $34 billion to $14.27 trillion as of June 30th. The most notable decline in consumer debt came from credit card spending, where balances fell $76 billion in the second quarter, the steepest decline in the history of the New York Fed's data. Auto and student loan balances were roughly flat. The data shows signs of caution over consumer spending. Well, no kidding. Mortgage balances, however, continued to rise and added $63 billion. So basically, we got student loans flat. We got, and to the extent that this particular region of the Fed is indicative of everything else, we don't know about that for sure, but it makes sense. It makes sense. So credit card debt's down. Student loan debt's flat. Mortgages are up because people are buying houses still. And auto loans are basically flat. Our auto debt is flat. So what it amounts to is that people weren't going to restaurants, and they weren't traveling, and they weren't using their credit cards. Mm-hmm. And they paid them down because they were scared.
That's right. Some good news, though, in this. In June, we saw consumer spending rise by 5.6%. So that speaks to some confidence. And the delinquency rates on mortgages ticked down as well. And that's in freaking New
York region.
That's right. So this is a great article to share because, you hear all the doom and gloom. And if you're watching news or you're reading news, a lot of clickbait out there, a lot of stories designed to get your head to turn. These are real economic numbers, and that would at least suggest that better days are ahead. You and I have believed that. All the Ramsey personalities, we've said that. Our messages of hope, we're saying that. This is a storm. Storms pass. There's some good news here, and there's hope that some people are saying, you know what, never again. And that's what we're seeing, and I'm encouraged. I think as time moves on, we're going to see business owners start to help beat the drum a little bit to say, you know what, if we're going to survive, if we're going to thrive, we're going to have to figure out how to work, and people want to work. And so I'm still in a place of optimism. Even though the news isn't always positive, I'm optimistic.
Yeah. I think one of the things that's negative, not out of this article, but overall is the same place in your brain, the same chemical reaction in your brain that causes someone to become addicted to pornography causes them to become addicted to fear. Mm-hmm. And some of these news channels have basically been putting out fear porn for about 4 months now. And they've gotten record ratings off of it. It's working for them. And they found a news story occasionally to move on from it, but they go right back to fear porn because it's working for them. And some of you have watched the news so much that you've become addicted to fear. And you spend your whole life just trembling. What happens when you do that is you lose your critical thinking skills. So you no longer have the ability to look at mask data or social distancing data or death rates with a clear mind. You no longer can look at the inconsistencies in the testing processes with a clear mind and come to a reasonable common sense conclusion. Instead, your octaves go up because your throat is tight, and you screech at someone in the grocery store.
Yeah.
Because you're addicted to fear. You've gotten hooked on fear porn.
Mm-hmm.
And so no one can reason with you because you've lost your freaking mind.
Yeah. Those people are seeing a threat everywhere. They're seeing a threat everywhere. It's interesting you talk about the part of the brain. You can look this up. Google lizard brain, and that's become kind of the common man description of that part of our brain, but it really does protect us. The brain is designed to protect us, and it's called fight or flight. And so what Dave's talking about, folks, is absolutely backed up from neuroscience, that when we get so focused on fear, our brain will put us into one or two places, and we get to choose. Most people, Dave, as you're saying, are choosing flight. I'm afraid. I'm going to contract everything in my life. I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to freak out, and I'm going to get in this bunker
And I'm going to be mad at anybody who doesn't do what I do.
That's the issue. Or what if we choose the fight mechanism and say, you know what, look, this is out of our control. A lot of this is out of our control. But what can I control? Well, I can control what I focus on. I can find good stories that aren't just kumbaya, cotton candy. I'm talking some of the data we've given you here. The jobs numbers, new job numbers came out today. Less job unemployment than they predicted. I look at that and I go, that's optimistic. We've got to...
Not exactly a check mark.
It's not.
It didn't just bounce back.
It didn't bounce back.
And the reason it didn't was we've continued with some of the draconian policies.
That's right. But we also got small businessmen and women that are fighting to save their business, fighting to save your job. We've got entrepreneurs that are fighting to come up with new business models and new consumer products that are coming out of these times. The point is we've got to choose to say, I'm not going to let this circumstance, a pandemic, and everybody else's reaction to it color my perspective and thus my actions. And I think it's well said. We've got to be careful what we consume.
Yeah. Fear porn.
If you consume fear all the time, that's all you see is an attack around every corner.
Yeah, and you become subject to it. You're now
absolutely
owned by it. And you can see people's eyes.
Oh, yeah. They're skulking around. Where's the boogeyman all the time, as opposed to going, look, this is a tough time. America's been through tough times before. Other countries been through tough times. And what have we seen? The human spirit, if it decides to fight, and to say, all right, we're going to overcome this and adapt, then good things can happen. And I am very optimistic. I just trust business people, man. If we can just get the government out of business, I feel real good about you, the people. I do.
Well, because this idea that somehow business people are out to harm their employees is absolutely asinine.
It's garbage.
That's asinine.
Yeah, they can't
Who would
do
that on purpose. We spend so much money acquiring team members.
Right.
The amount of money I spend recruiting and getting people here, and then turn around and kill them.
Right.
That's asinine.
Well, you've said 100 times we can't get to the vision that we have for Ramsey Solutions as it continues to evolve and grow without people.
Yeah. So we turned off our hiring for 60 days because we were conserving cash to make sure we were going to turn the corner and survive. Mm-hmm. We've stabilized our revenues now. Mm-hmm. We've pivoted until I'm sick of the word. And so we're back in full hire mode now, and we'll hire 200 people by the end of the year probably. And so I was talking with a guy last night in business, and can you imagine being in the plexiglass business right now?
Oh my goodness. They can't hire enough people.
They can't keep it.
No.
It's like everywhere. Everybody's got a piece of glass up somewhere. Yeah. And, every cash register suddenly has this. It is absolutely, it'd be like being in the mask production business.
Or how about all those toilet paper executives right now and the paper towel people? They are living good right now after all the collective freak out in America 3 months ago. You couldn't find toilet paper. If you tried, you couldn't find it.
The great toilet paper shortage of the spring of 2020.
Well, it's crazy. There's opportunity everywhere. We just have to infect people. I know you're going to get on that word, but I chose it on purpose. We've got to infect people.
Fear is more contagious than this virus.
But we have got to infect people with some optimism to say, this
virus is highly contagious, by the way.
Oh, I know.
But the fear is more.
Fear is way more. And by the way, I'm going to say this. The fear and the fallout of this virus and the draconian leadership measures will have harmed more people than the actual virus when this is all said and done.
Definitely. All kinds of data already showing that. All kinds of data already showing that. It's the good news is they didn't run up their debt credit cards. That's the data. That's good.
We still got work to do, though.
Yeah. There's still $76 billion in just credit cards. Me and you were going to be okay. Me and Jenny Craig got a lot of work to do.